Hey guys, what is up? It is Bib07 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 video here today. In this video, I'm going to be going over the 2024 roadmap, which Jagex just revealed on their live stream today. I'm going to be giving my thoughts on all the content they talked about and all the reveals that they made, as well as a couple of the additional details that they mentioned after the initial stream reveal of the roadmap, where they included some additional information about certain updates, including what they're going to entail and what additional rewards and details we might be expecting from them. I'll be having an additional video after this one where I go through the survey, which I haven't looked at yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. Love going through surveys for games I play to be able to give my feedback and potential thoughts on future updates. But yeah, this is the roadmap. It honestly looks really, really good. I was really happy with the stream and everything they mentioned. And I don't know, I thought it was a great roadmap. They've got a lot of cool and diverse content on here. And I was completely floored when they mentioned Group Iron Man. I thought that they had completely disowned that and said it was never coming. Don't expect it. Get over it. It's just not happening. And then they just put it on this roadmap here. So I'll, I'm not completely convinced that it's actually going to come out in autumn of this year yet. They didn't give any additional information about it, like things like group size, or importantly, how they're going to deal or address things like augmented items or untradeable items, which are much more prevalent in this game than in old school. And I think until we get more information, I'm still a bit skeptical on its actual release happening or not. But even if they just said something like, yeah, you're just going to have to deal with those things being untradeable and bound to an account, which would be fair enough. It would be a shame, but would be fair enough. And then we could go ahead with that assumption. But that's pretty much all I have to say. I will absolutely be playing a Group Iron Man and having videos on it. So don't you worry. If you're interested in those, I will be doing that for sure if and when it does come out. But the rest of the roadmap was really awesome as well. So of course, we already know about these first two items on here. We have the new boss coming at the end of this month, which is the Rex Matriarch. The Relic environment update already happened, I believe, which the other two things that are grayed out also already happened. So not sure why that one wasn't grayed out as well, but not a big deal. The seasonal event, which I actually didn't partake in at all, that was going when I wasn't playing. And then the quest, which I also haven't done that quest yet, but I think most people thought it was pretty good and came with the new ritual site and that ring. So overall, pretty cool. Now, the next item on the roadmap here, which is the Daemonheim dig site, I am extremely excited for. I really can't wait for that to come out. I absolutely love archaeology. In my opinion, it is the single best update in the entire history of RuneScape, and nothing even really comes close in my opinion. And the fact that they're adding even more content to the skill is crazy. It's easily the most fleshed out and detailed and content-rich skill in the entire game, and they're only adding more to it. I think on the stream they mentioned about how there are level gaps in the whoops, I did not mean to scroll down there, my bad. They mentioned that how there are level gaps in the skill that they wanted to fill in. I mean, I think archaeology has the fewest level gaps of any skill in the game by a country mile, and it's kind of crazy that they're trying to fill in those gaps in addition to just adding additional mysteries and other content. I can't wait. There's only going to be one new relic, and I think they said the level range was like 103 to 113 or something like that, which is pretty high level. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be that high, but yeah, I'll be making plenty of videos about that, guides for all the mysteries to continue my mystery guide series, and pretty much just anything that is released with it. I think I have pretty much a guide to everything related to archaeology on my channel, and I'd like to keep that in place. So yeah, very, very excited for that. But they didn't give very many details on that at all because they wanted to focus on the updates, which they revealed in this live stream, which is fair enough. Of course, the beach is coming back, and then there's an event for Pride as well on that same card. Now, later in the summer, we are having a new boss dungeon called the Sanctum of Rebirth. And while it is a somewhat similar format to Elite Dungeons, this is distinctly a boss dungeon, and we'll have 3 bosses in it, 3 brand new bosses that are completely new to the dungeon, but there's no mob clearing sections in between. So you just do 1, 2, 3 bosses, kind of like if you've played old school, they have the Theater of Blood raid, which is basically, I think it's like 5 or 6 bosses on there that are all just back to back. So this is that sort of style, which it's just 3 new bosses and you have to fight them all in a row. I think I don't know. They didn't really give a ton of details about it. Like if you die, do you have to do them all over again, or can you restart from the one you were on? Who knows? But it sounds really, really cool. I wasn't expecting a new boss aside from this Rex Matriarch until like the end of the year, maybe. So to see a 3 boss dungeon coming out towards the end of summer is really, really exciting. And I'm really looking forward to that to come out. Sounds like it's going to be super, super cool. And they did confirm after the reveal that this will be dropping tier 95 magic dual wield at least. There's going to be additional drops, I think, aside from that, but that's really cool. I'm really excited for that. And they actually said something that I'm a little bit torn on. Apparently, there's going to be a beta for those new magic weapons before they release to test out their effects and maybe change things depending on the beta feedback, which I was surprised to hear. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Overall, it's good for balancing reasons and to make sure they feel good as an item to get when it comes out. But at the same time, it does slightly take away from the excitement of trying out a weapon on the day of release if you get lucky enough to get it as a drop or anything. So I feel like it's a give and take in that regard, but it is an interesting approach, and we'll see how it works out for them at testing the items out. There's also going to be a normal and hard mode for this. No story mode, importantly, but hard mode is going to kind of be like the normal mode of like an as you'd expect boss fights. Whereas the normal mode, apparently they're going to be trialing a new death mechanic in that mode, and the actual combat isn't necessarily going to be easier. It's just going to make it so that whatever this new death mechanic is, makes it so you're not afraid to try the boss out, I guess. So that's an interesting idea. I wonder what that'll end up being. I have no idea, but that's pretty much all the details they gave about the Sanctum of Rebirth. It sounds amazing, and I'm really looking forward to that. Bossing is some of my favorite stuff to do in the game, so can't wait for that. I'll have to dust off the old main account to give it a shot, and maybe I'll do one of my classic videos that I did for like almost all the other Elite Dungeons on release, where I do a full video of me on my first run through learning how the bosses and things work. That could be kind of fun. But yeah, that looks really cool. And then they have on this same section for summer, they have this skilling update for mining and smithing. And this was honestly way, way bigger than I expected. When I saw this, and they said before they went into details on this quite a bit in the post reveal section. When I saw this, I was like, and they said there's new ores and bars, and I was like, what do you mean? How could they possibly even add more stuff to mining and smithing? After the rework, we have content going all the way up to 99, essentially, with all the different bars and stuff. But man, it is a lot bigger update than I was expecting. Basically, they're going to be bringing primal variants of the Daemonheim ores to the surface as new spots to mine. And that, in Daemonheim, there's currently 10 different ores. So that potentially means we're getting 10 new ores into the overworld, which are going to be mineable and allow you to smith different things. They smelt into primal bars eventually. I assume you'd probably need all the ores to make those. I don't really know. And you can make them into primal armor and equipment. Includes a new tier of ore box, a new best in slot pickaxe, which I was really surprised to hear considering we already have the pickaxe of Earth and Song. So I'm interested to see what this new pickaxe ends up being and how you make it. There's also going to be a masterwork weapon as a result of this. Obviously, we already have the masterwork spear, so it'll be interesting to see what this masterwork weapon ends up doing and what its niche is. But yeah, that is pretty cool. There's going to be apparently new consumables created with these new bars, and they mentioned specifically that they're not trying to make existing best in slot redundant, but you'll still want to have these new items, and they'll be revealing more details in a live stream soon. So yeah, that was crazy to hear. I really didn't expect that at all when I saw mining and smithing update. They're bringing the Daemonheim ores to the surface. So I'm really interested to see more details on that. I'll make additional videos covering it when they do provide more information. We also have the new area tasks for City of assumedly going to fill out the last 2 tiers and let you upgrade your Book of to level 3 and then level 4, which I think we're all expecting and was kind of Annoyed that that didn't come out with release of Necromancy, so glad to see they're finally doing it. We didn't get any details on those, like what the tasks will entail or what the rewards will be, but that is coming. And then they also have on here the new Necromancy ability for a 4th Conjured Spirit, which again, they didn't really give any information on. And I'm not sure if that's going to be as a drop from the Sanctum or is something separate. They didn't mention that in the additional information at any point, but summer sounds like it's going to be really, really cool. I'm super looking forward to these mining and smithing update and the Sanctum. New area tasks will be nice, and who knows about the 4th Conjured Spirit. What's it going to do? Necromancy's already really strong. It'll be kind of cool to see what an additional spirit will provide for the combat style. And then in autumn, the first card we have here, I couldn't believe when I saw this either. There's going to be a new skilling boss, which I'm really looking forward to as well. I know some people don't like Croesus, a couple of my friends actually that I was talking to this about, but I personally really, really enjoy Croesus, and I think it's a great boss encounter and really enjoy doing it. My only gripe with it is you kind of need to do it with 4 people, which I'm not a big fan of just because, or like if you want to do it efficiently, I mean, you can mass it, of course, but if you want to do it efficiently and do it well, 4 people is like the optimal size. And solo is like really, really bad and not efficient to do as far as I understand. So to see a new skilling boss on here, I was really excited. And then in the additional information section, they say it will be solo and groupable. So yeah, I really can't wait for this. I'm super excited for a new skilling boss because, again, I really like Croesus. I like Big Game Hunter. I think those are really, really fun pieces of content. So I think if they take what they learned from making Croesus and introduce it to this new skilling boss, it could be really, really good. So that one I am very excited for as well. Also, they mentioned in the additional details section that Croesus is the 2nd most killed boss in the game, which is honestly pretty surprising considering it's primarily a group boss and is a skilling boss. But yeah, so that certainly justifies, I think, them introducing a new one in this roadmap. They then have RuneFest on here, which they said would be including more information about what's coming in 2025, which I think makes sense. That's a good spot to reveal it. And hopefully it's in a similar format to this. And like, if all this stuff comes out, I mean, I'd be really impressed and happy with Jagex making kind of a resurgence in that regard. They also list right under that a new story quest, which they specify story quests here. Basically, these are going to be like the normal quests that we expect from the game, like Requiem for a Dragon, which recently came out. I think they mentioned at certain times, like Sanctum of Rebirth is going to have like a mini quest to unlock it, I think. But the real main major quest releases are called story quests here. It doesn't necessarily mean there won't be seasonal quests or additional mini quests for different content, but the major main quests are listed here. So there'll be a new one of those in autumn. So that's cool. I like quests. I'm looking forward to that. There's also going to be a new Slayer monster, which will provide a Necromancy Slayer Helm upgrade, which makes sense. I wonder if it's going to be a Strike Worm. That would kind of make sense just because the Jungle Strike Worm drops the Hex Crest and the Desert Strike Worm drops the Focus Sight, which are the other 2 specific combat style upgrades for the Slayer helmet. However, the Black Mask, which is the melee portion, obviously is dropped by Cave Horrors. So we could see something else other than a Strike Worm, but nice to see that they'll be adding that to allow you to get additional Necromancy bonuses on Slayer tasks. Then the next card for autumn, again, we have Group Iron Man, which I already covered. Really excited for that and interested to see how the logistics end up panning out there. Then they listed another skilling update, which is for woodcutting and fletching, and they basically gave no information on this. The mining and smithing one, they gave a ton of info about the Daemonheim ores coming to the surface and being mineable and all that stuff I already mentioned, but for woodcutting and fletching, they basically didn't say anything. As a generalization for the skilling updates, though, they did say they're looking to be high level, and a direct quote was the 99 area, which I'm not 100% sure what that means. Like, is it 99 or just high 90s? Who knows? But the 99 area was mentioned, so expect it to be another high level update. And honestly, wouldn't surprise me too much if it was just the woodcutting trees in Daemonheim coming to the surface as well, since it would kind of make sense thematically with the other skilling update. But we'll have to see when they provide more details on that. That should be pretty cool. And they'll probably, obviously, I think it's almost certain that that will include a tier 90 hatchet for the woodcutting update, because we currently have the Amcando hatchet that was released with the Woodcutter's Grove on Fort Frenthree. Would make sense for them to go for that tier 90 version in this new one. Next up, they have a new seasonal event for Halloween, which will include a seasonal quest, and this is going to be similar in format to the Easter and Christmas events, where it's going to be a hub that's created and is going to be recurring year over year. So them doing it as part of this year is kind of getting out the bulk of the update and allowing them to reuse it later and making it a lot less work to make these holiday events happen in the future. So I think that's a good approach, and I'm glad they're doing that for the holiday events in general. And yeah, I think it makes sense to have it after this year, Easter, Halloween, and Christmas is already done from last year. Easter's been done this year, and now Halloween, they'll all be much less work for them to put on as events and take away from the permanent content much less, as they'll be reusing the hubs and just adding little things each year, like an additional seasonal quest and things like that. So that sounds good to me. And then we have in winter, which is essentially just December, I would assume, because winter starts in December. And then we have winter obviously goes into the next year, of course. Everyone knows how winter works, I hope. But in winter, we will have a new story quest again, which sounds like it'll be pretty cool. Obviously, Bilrak is the icon for this, so he'll be involved in that somehow. I really should brush up on my lore on what's been going down recently, but currently I'm a bit out of touch there. And then the Christmas Village will be coming back, which I think most people enjoyed as the holiday Christmas event for last year. And you will be able to potentially get the Black Party Hat again. That is making another return for that event as well. And there will be an additional seasonal quest in that hub area for this year. So you'll be able to do the old one if you didn't do it, or maybe you can even redo it, I'm not sure. But the old one that already existed last year will come back, and there will be this new one. So that's kind of the first example of how things are going to be as they reuse these hubs, and it'll be a good way to kind of gauge how they'll be used in the future for different locations. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the roadmap. They also say down here at the bottom, community hit list improvements and game jam updates will be released throughout the year, which makes sense. You know, those smaller updates that maybe don't have a set in stone time when they'll be released, just when like there's extra time to be worked on or they're being worked on in the background. So that's always good to see. And yeah, they also, of course, have the disclaimer at the bottom, content subject to change. So you never know what they could switch up here at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think fantastic roadmap. There's a little bit of something in there for pretty much everyone. Dig site for archaeology. You've got new boss dungeon, skilling updates, quests. I mean, what more can you really ask for in a roadmap? New mode of Group Iron Man. And I'm actually reading a little bit here on the page, and I guess I could scroll down on my screen, but I'm not sure how the cropping is going to work. Okay, so my whole OBS just kind of crapped itself there. I'm not sure what happened. Sorry for that. But yeah, I'm going to try and do this now if it'll let me. I'm going to see if scrolling down. Okay, it's still like in frame. It works fine this way. So yeah, it might be a little bit cut off on the left. I apologize for that, but I was just trying to keep the roadmap on screen. But I haven't actually read this yet, so let's see if there's anything interesting in here. 10 years on from the launch of Iron Man, they are introducing a new way to experience it. Group Iron Man takes the experience and makes it social. Same restrictions, but within your group. You're free to access so there will be a shared storage. You can trade with one another, and there will be leaderboards. Okay, that's good to see some confirmations about certain things there. There will be a shared storage, which, I mean, without that, why even almost bother making this, low-key? But that's good to hear. And yeah, they will confirm the release date at RuneFest, apparently. Interesting. Okay, so that is some slight additional information about Group Iron Man. We have the Sanctum of Rebirth here. Oh, it says it's coming in July. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so that's confirmed. I thought it would probably be July or August, but that's nice to hear. New boss dungeon, 1 to 4 players, which I didn't mention, but they did say that already. 3 unique bosses, normal or hard difficulty, and just the bosses as opposed to the normal elite dungeons. And yeah, here they mentioned tier 95 magic dual wield weapons, and oh wow, they actually define it right here. You may even get access to a new upgrade item to push weapons past tier 95. All weapons? What does that mean? Wow, that's crazy. I'm really interested to hear more about that because they just say weapons, not the weapons like the magic weapons we're getting. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Holy crap. So we're getting live news dropping on my head right now because I didn't read this beforehand. And yeah, like I said, they're going to be having a new death/revive mechanic, and this will be a beta world playtest for the tier 95 weapon designs. So yeah, definitely interesting. And I don't know. I think it's probably more good than bad, but there is, again, certainly a trade-off in that respect. Then we have the new skilling boss, which doesn't, they mentioned that they're just starting development on this, so it doesn't have a lot of information, which makes sense. And yeah, it'll be tied into the storyline, solo or group. And yeah, design is in its early stages, and they don't really know what it's going to be coming out with yet. New story quests are going to be coming. They don't have a whole lot of detail on that. And then skilling updates, they say first two in this vein. Skills are at the heart of RuneScape. They want to expand on what high-level skills can offer. So yeah, I assume at least some of the stuff from this mining and smithing primal stuff will be untradeable maybe. That would make sense. But yeah, they want to be delivering on these types of updates regularly across a variety of skills. So they're starting with Daemonheim mining, allowing you to mine those ores on the surface for the first time, convert them into primal bars. As I said, a brand new masterwork weapon, top tier pickaxe. So yeah, sounds very cool. Archaeology dig site. Oh, okay. They only mentioned 103 to 113, or at least that's all I heard on the stream, but they also say 73 to 87. So quite a decent level range on multiple different things you're going to be getting here. I mean, that picture just looks so cool, doesn't it? Can't wait for this update. It's going to be so awesome. And they're also graphically updating the Daemonheim surface with this, which is also cool. And yeah, I don't think they say there's one brand new relic power, but I wonder if they're going to address any of the QOL issues that people have with relics. We of course have Osius, which is the Rex Matriarch that is coming this month, May 28th. Looking forward to that coming out. And it's cool thematically and everything. Oh wait. Okay, so they're giving us a full look on May 22nd. They really didn't talk much about this as far as reward specifics or anything like that, but we will learn more about that in about a week's time, so that'll be interesting. And then they talk about the seasonal events, and they talk about the survey, which I'm going to be taking in my next video. And then we have a final word from Maud Marcus, who was a new person on the stream, who, like he says here, has been working for Old School as the executive producer. This guy sounded like he was on point, so I don't know. I liked his little. He only said a few things, but I don't know, impressive for sure. And he seems like he's got the roadmaps on lock and wants to keep them coming in the future as Old School does. Like you can kind of tell from this picture, it does kind of look like the same style as the Old School one that they had, which, I mean, I think it's a good style and communicates what it needs to, and they can give additional details as they see fit. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you're most excited for on the roadmap. For me, it's honestly, it's hard to pick something, but just because of recency, I'm really excited for the new dig site, but I think the boss dungeon might be more hyped, but I'm also really excited for the new skilling boss and group Iron Man. I can't pick one, I'm sorry. But yeah, overall, this has got me really excited for the future of the game. They did a great job with this, and I'm looking forward to these updates coming out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and peace out.